I'm Perita A. Javier, victim of continuing poison gas. This is our continuing appearance to seek help. Stop the
I'm sorry to
home-based
interrupt.
business, home
Parita?
occupation.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but which closed session item are you speaking to? This is not public comment, non-agenda public comment.
You know, I must be frank and honest. We have been here and we were indoctrinated with this continuing parliamentary procedure under Brown Act. When we see right away public comment, it is implanted that we have to speak non-agenda. Now, you're telling us that, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry for that pattern indoctrinated in our mind.
Certainly
We sit
understandable.
down and listen to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Going to those participating online, I don't see anybody with their hand raised, so that does conclude public comment on closed session today.
Cesar Javier, I haven't heard the justified reason why Council Member Wilford, your chair, is absent. I know there is a quorum, 2/3, but this is a sign of ineptness, and I would say the word secrecy. Why is she absent? Please well inform us, public. I speak on this item 200 because whatever you try, in our experience here for more than 3 years, I breathe that sense of I don't trust our government, the assigned leadership here. This is just a kind of ritual. I forgot the word. It's just like a drill. They know the decision already beforehand. I am not inventing. We have observed this. Whatever we do here, it has already been decided behind the wall. The word secrecy. We want a government that is open, a government that is shaped and crafted and cooked by the master chef, which is the public, including, of course, the chair and the rest of the members of this council. Forgive me because it's the truth. I ask forgiveness because I am intruding into your hidden agenda, which is destructive of our great nation or city, we call it. Sir, Chair, please wake up. The door is wide open. There are more prepared and ready to serve this country. I have to mention, Mr. Chair, with your permission, I would like to focus this, not a critic, but an awakening, antibiotic. Wake up, Mr.
Thank you for
Councilor
that
Rivera.
concluding comment. I've started the 5-minute timer.
Hi, my name is Ernie Casco, La Jolla resident, former La Jolla trustee. I'm absolutely disgusted, wanted to voice my opinion on the secrecy like the first gentleman discussed. I'm absolutely on board with what you shared. The dirty backroom deals contracts that you, Joe LaCava, are writing that violate our constitutional rights and freedom has to be stopped. It's unconstitutional to write contracts that violate our freedoms and then govern the meeting as to who gets to share about it and who doesn't. Thank you so much. I will be whistleblowing here at open public comment if I can, if it's still available, and I could speak a little later on the injustices that I see having in our community.
Yes, sir, call back at the end of the meeting. They're going to have public comment. Yeah, it is very on point what Cesar Javier was saying about what takes place in these rooms, and even the previous gentleman. You guys already decide what you want to hear. I mean, even though this is an informational item, you know, you tend to forget a lot that there's public comment that needs to take place, which shows that you don't even think about the public when you're sitting there getting ready to, go on the dais and go off on you guys' diatribes about how you feel about a certain item. And there are back end deals going on all the time, which is so sad because all the government does is, waste the people's money. And like just to hear how much debt goes on within the government, it's nuts. Because could you imagine, I mean, how cool would that be if the people that are suffering and giving you all their money for you to waste and engage in fraud, waste, and abuse, not be transparent or have any kind of accountability going on? Imagine if the people could, do the same things, basically use debt that way and, still be able to continue to do business, even though you've been engaged in such nefarious things that are wasteful of the people's money. And, the things don't get better, projects don't happen, but it is about, making sure that you're working with your friends so that you can get them some money, all while the things you're supposed to provide to the people are lacking. And so when you're talking about even just financial resilience, I mean, you guys surely have that when you're dealing with the people's money. But, all of the people's money that you're taking, they're the ones just wondering how to make ends meet, wondering if they're going to lose their home, wondering if they can actually eat today, wondering if they can just pay their bills because they keep going up, wondering if they can pay the taxes that you guys continue to install and enforce upon the people, all while they are the ones providing
Your time
everything.
has concluded.
Thank you, City Clerk Fuentes. Joyce Senyata, District 3. I wanted to just say, if there's any way when you do these trainings, you can have a piece of it so that the public can understand the training in a simple way. And that would be a reassurance that all these complicated systems are working out of our control. This is complicated, and it's very important. I think it's even complicated for a lot of you, and more tracking's needed, and that's kind of shocking. And I have to say this: the audit committee meeting stunned me, literally stunned me. If you haven't seen that audit committee meeting public, you've got to watch that, see the replay it for yourself. I don't even think I can go much into it because my heart is still saddened. The way the conversation went between the committee and between the Department of Finance people, I'm not saying it was wrong. It was very astute and very penetrating, but I wasn't ready for it. I didn't expect it. So these kinds of things unsettle me. And, trust is everywhere in this government. We're all stumbling with trust, aren't we? So please, please, please wake up. I'm waking up and it's sad. But wake up and help us. We need you. We elected you. And Department of Finance, you got to do better, I think. And that, I don't think I would ever think I would say that. So thank you for listening. And we're all in this together. One
Your
San
time has
Diego, one
concluded.
people. Love to.
Thank you so much. That does conclude public comment on item 200.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. And again, my apologies for skipping over public comment.
I'm sorry. My fault. Cesar Javier, we have been expecting for 3 years that our issue at District 9, toxicity from a home business at a designated residential zone community. My distrust began with that journey. This is all in violation of land use and planning, environment and land use, all from the state. These are the pillars of SECA or SEQA. But paramount is social justice at this time, state, and condition. For 41 years and ongoing, the poison or poisoning of the air we breathe in the residential zone must stop now. Abating it in delay means justice denied. Why did the city fail to investigate and or even consider our case informational? Since June 2021, why in our neighborhood a residential zone located, constructed, and operated? Why? What's the secret? Why, Council President Lacaba, you were the environmental chair of that committee. You were the President Council, Mr. Rivera. You are the land use chair, Sir Kent Lee. Mom Campbell, you are the community and neighborhood services. You must be an intellectual as far as zoning code are concerned, Mom. Help us. This is our persuasion. We have been waiting for solution. Thank you.
Yeah, it'd be great if you guys were for people over profit, but we're always about filling people's pockets. And it's interesting when you use gaslighting words like, you know, we want to protect your free speech. We want to protect the elderly. We want to protect the homeless. We want to protect the children. But what we see is that that is not happening on a massive scale. There's a huge humanitarian crisis, and the government are the culprits, the ones sitting there basically robbing the people of their money to, you know, worsen their lives. Nothing ever, you know, gets better. The homeless issue gets worse. You know, like, we're not protecting the elderly. We're not protecting the children. And that's something that doesn't get addressed. Like, this should be first page news. This should be something that the news talks about on a regular basis until the problem is fixed. But this is a pay-to-play system. And everything that is done is virtue signaling as though it's going to better your life. We're going to, you know, do all these things to make things better, but we see the fruits of your labor. And the fruits of your labor are rotten. And, you know, it's just interesting to see how you can say those things of like protecting, when in reality you guys are the predators that prey upon the people to, you know, sit there and, as the God of this world does, you know, masquerade as an angel of light that's going to come in and save the day, but all while they're trying to make you dependent upon them. And if we can't see or acknowledge the atrocities that are happening upon children, that they're addressed, that centers like the Polensky Center are shut down for abusing children on a regular basis, children that have already been abused and traumatized, then you guys shouldn't be doing any business, because until you can acknowledge that, it shows that you are engaged in that, and that you're not willing to stop it because somebody is getting paid to do it.
Hi, Blair Beekman. Thanks for the meeting today. Thanks for the words of Joyce Sanada, who she noted earlier in the meeting that the auditing committee last week had kind of a meltdown of what's going on. There is a lack of better accountability and practices going on within the finance committee, that the audit committee really tried to hold the process accountable for the future and really asked and demanded. The finance committee or the finance department was not so keen on it. And to me, it sounded like, from my point of view, that they've been working with the mayor's office on issues and taking a mayor's stance on how to address issues, or a strong, from a position from the strong mayor area. And that, I think, is what's at question, that once again, we are asking the strong mayor department to please play ball and please work with community, and to stop working as their own high horse, that they don't have to answer to local community, basically. And so basically the audit committee tried to hold them accountable and said, please come back, you know, please work in the reality of community. And we have a real problem with the strong mayor thing happening that it's creating this sort of dynamic continuously. And we keep asking, as council, as committees within the council, and with Mayor Gloria's recent trip to, the Philippines for an effort of war, we're asking them to step back, to come back to reality and work with community towards best practices of peace and community building, and not the concepts of war building, and not the concepts of them working solo all alone that they can answer all the issues of life. Please, let's all work together. We're trying to do that the past few years.
Your time has concluded.
Thank you so much. Francine Maxwell, District 4. I want to begin by thanking the Park and Rec Department staff that even on their day off, they participated in our open house for our dog park at Gompers. We were so excited to have Channel 5 come up and receive a little bit of coverage on Sunday. Very appreciative when the community comes out and comes together to get items like other communities. I will point to District 7, who was able to have a ribbon cutting for their dog park. So you guys want to continue to sit on the diocese and say that equity and inclusion is just at the forefront of your minds. And you have countless examples where that is not occurring. I want to make sure that the four council people that endorsed Marni, who says that she is fighting crime, she's actually fighting families because she is not helping the CPP with the oversight that 75% of the community voted for. She says that hurt our communities, I'll fight back for every family. She's fighting against every family that has filed a complaint because we have empty seats at the CPP. She'll protect our tax dollars. She wants the police dollars. We know that our police officers, the first responders that run into danger, they have long paper because they get extra overtime budget money of our taxpayers. Marni said in her press conference that we're struggling in California. We're struggling in San Diego because we have elected officials that are more concerned with their next office than making sure that they leave something better than they found it in the elected office that they hold right now. She deals in big results. She wants safety. She says people over politics. Isn't that you guys' tagline? Have you really held fast to that? I think not. Thank you for allowing me to speak.